Hi there, I'm Meong, and this is the Apatros Action 52 Masochist. In this episode we take a look at the 52nd last game on the original NES multicart Action 52, and this is the Cheetahmen. It's a platformer. The enemy type comprised of the best of the worst in terms of random enemy sprites, and they're taken from other games. There are technically 3 bosses. And the number of levels is undetermined, there possibly as many as 10 levels. I managed to make a full run, technically speaking, and my high score was 17,000 points. Now, the original concept for the 52nd and last game on the infamous original NES multicart of Action 52 was supposed to be the Action Game Master, which was going to be a challenge run through the highest levels of the preceding 51 games. But halfway through development, the Action 52 Death Squad was instructed by their master Vince Perry to make a knockoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who was seriously hitting big in the late 1980s and early 1990s. I know this because I was one of the many children who used to watch that legendary cartoon show back then. Awesome show. So the devs complied, and gave the multicart something of a trademark and a mascot that has since become a gaming icon. The Cheetahmen was the result, a platformer that still had some parts unfinished, as well as a pile of rather sadistically designed bullshit level designs and relentless enemies, but also has its own share of weird surprises worth noting. This is one game with the multicart which doesn't seem to have any working cheat codes, but if you're playing this on an emulator, the only sane way to beat this is through the use of save states. I made some particularly aggressive use of save stating while I played both this and its equally infamous sequel, which definitely saved my ass. The platforming is made surprisingly difficult due to the many enemies placed in hard to avoid locations, making getting past them a bit tricky, as well as some enemies ass rushing you without any real time to respond. Now you get to play a total of 3 achievement characters, and they're as follows. Ares, which is the first achievement that the player controls for the first 2 levels. Ares is the best fighter in the game, as his clubs and tail give him the best advantage of defending himself against enemies. Provided you get your timing right, Ares can take down any enemy sprite that approaches him, and his range covers all the angles in front of him, so any enemy that can defeat him is easily dealt with. For levels 3 and 4 you get the second achievement, Hercules. This one's one big beefy fighter, but surprisingly enough his attacks here are almost ineffective in terms of defense. In the improved version Achievement 2, Hercules does have some fighting effectiveness, but here he doesn't. So the player's strategy is to command Hercules to jump to avoid losing health to the enemy sprites. And for the last 2 levels you get Apollo, the last and worst of the achievement. This guy doesn't get the benefit of the intro text screen. The 8-bit profile picture is there but the text is missing. It is the weakest in terms of defensive capability. Apollo's crossbow is extremely accurate, but this has almost no blast range, meaning that if the enemy sprite is just a pixel outside the bolt's area effect, they're safe. Playing Apollo is a real bitch of a headache, even for hardcore masochists like me. Now, the game also has 3 secret warps that give you access to a hidden 1-up. I'll list their locations as follows, one available per character. For Ares, in the first level, the second waterfall you pass has a hidden warp, so Ares allocated 1-up. For Hercules, his first level has a warp located in the pit directly below the solitary turret in the second section. So once you pass those 3 turrets at the start of that level, you go up and once you reach the next turret, that pit right there, that's where the second 1-up is. As for Apollo, in his first level, once you reach a solid path after dealing with the platforms, the warp is hidden in the pit right before the 3rd firecracker. A real surprise about the Cheetahmen is the gorgeous 8-bit water animation you'll see once Hercules reaches his ultimate second level, the one that starts with a flashing screen. That water animation is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see in a bootleg NES game. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, while the Cheetahmen is not a particularly good game, the sheer quirkiness of the game's mechanics provides plenty of amusement for gamers with a masochistic bent, and provided you play this on an emulator you can technically checkpoint your progress using save states, which means that this game isn't technically unplayable. The bosses also have an easy tactic to kick their asses with, by staying to the far left of the screen, only poking out of it to smack them upside the head when they get close enough, rinse and repeat until they get running home with their tails between their legs. If you use the hidden 1-up warps, you'll eventually reach the last level, which is unfinished, and therefore unplayable, so merely reaching it counts as a full run. I give the Cheetahmen an AD-, which is equivalent to a 5 out of 10. It is so bad it is passable. And there you go, I've covered every single game on the original NES multicart Action 52. There's one more episode coming up, and that's Achievement 2, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, so this gets an AD-, which is so bad it's passable. If you have any questions, comments, or associated trivia for this review subject, leave in the comments, I'll be happy to respond. Hope you guys are staying safe, stay easy, and this is the Apatros Action 52 Masochist, signing off.